All personnel, clear the launch platform.
All personnel, clear launch platform. Disneyland is your land.
The Leaving Today podcast, the show about the news, history, and attractions of the Disneyland Resort.
Disneyland is your land.
Well, come on, Wendy. Let's go.
But where are we going?
To Neverland.
Neverland.
Hello, and hello. Welcome to the Leaving Today podcast, episode number 216. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, this afternoon, this evening, whenever it is and however it is. We do very much appreciate it. My name is Mark. I'm one of the co-hosts here of the LTP. Sitting to the right of me is the Trailmaster Puppets himself, Woody.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Sitting to the left of me via FaceTime is Becky. What's up, Becky?
Hello. Hi, you guys.
Hello, and welcome back from your fresh trip to the Magic Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah. And, you know, people think that the Magic Kingdom is the one in Florida, but
Nope.
it used to be the one in Disneyland. I don't know why people don't think that. I mean, but that really is what Disneyland used to be referred to as the Magic Kingdom. But
The original.
Yep. All right. For those of you just finding us, hey, thank you so much for taking time to listen to us. We are an honest Disneyland podcast. We hope we find the water to be warm. We love open discussions about whatever going on in the park. And for those of you that are called this place home, hey, well, welcome home. Today's show is sponsored by you, the listeners. And we can make that super simple by going on to our leavingtodaypodcast.com, clicking on the support tab. We go through Patreon, and we also have Instagram at Leaving Today Podcast, and we have a link tree on there, and you can donate there and be part of the LTP family. For that, you get to be on the show, and you get some swag, and just, I guess, all around good vibes. And again, just a quick reminder, if you are listening to the show, and since you are, thank you so much for supporting podcasts. When you do that, you are supporting independent thoughts, independent thinking, ideas, and overall group discussions. And Udi has something to say.
Yeah, and I feel I'm gonna keep on doing that. I'm gonna chime in after you bring that up because I feel the space, and you guys now have heard me, and this is gonna be a going theme for a while now because I think we need to continue to really drive the fact that the podcast, that the thoughts of people are varied and all over the place, and that the more we can talk, the better we are going to be able to understand each other and be able to meet in the middle of many of the issues that can separate us. So thank you for listening to our podcast, and I will encourage anyone out there, go listen to as much as you can.
Yeah.
Listen. If you take to it, support it. And we appreciate all the support that you guys give us. But yeah, right now more than ever, more voices are better. And your willingness and your ability to open up to new ideas is crucial. So thank you for listening to us. And I encourage you to continue to listen not only to us, but to other podcasts, other Disney podcasts, and pretty much anything that you're interested in. Economics, anything, the world, politics, anything, culture. Spread those wings out there and take in as much as you can. So thank you.
Yeah, there you go. And to that end, I do want to invite you listeners to check out LTP Lounge every other Thursday from 6:30 to 7:30. It's when Udi and I go on our YouTube channel, and we will advertise that during the week that we record. Mm-hmm. And that is an hour for us to talk about any Disney topics you want, and for us to engage with you listeners. And if you want to come on the show, absolutely. But if you want to hang out and lurk in the chat room, that's fine. We have discussions there.
Yep.
We keep it to Disney topics, and it's been pretty fun the last 3 or 4 sessions. Yeah.
And we're talking behind the scenes of trying to expand, like trying to figure out where else we can go just other than YouTube. Because again, same thing with the podcast. Having different platforms that you can get that video content is going to be also crucial. So as we expand that, we will let you guys know where we're going with that. But yeah, there we are. So yeah, definitely come hang out with us. We keep that much tighter. We keep to about 3 topics. What we've been covering, right? About Mark 3, maybe 4.
Yep.
But the biggest part of that is the engagement with the chat. So like Mark said, even if you want to come on the show, we are more than happy to have that. We love the fact that we can talk to people. It's kind of the reason why we began this whole thing. And so at least if you don't want to come on camera, fine, but engage in the chat, because we've had a lot of good discussions by people commenting in the chats, and it's a good idea to have other people bring up different ideas and to give us points of view that we may not have considered before.
Sure.
So yeah, so please come on over, hang out with us for an hour. We're like I said, we're much more pinpoint and driven in that show because we're trying to be. And but the main point of that is the engagement with real time in the chat, or if you want to come on the show. So please, I mean, we had Jason impromptu last show because I'll tell you guys what happened. You guys go over there and you see this weird video. It's because Mark, who's driving that, the power went out mid-show.
Yep.
So it dropped. I kill the video, and then we have another secondary, shorter one. And in that time, I pop up with our good friend Jason, and he chimed in until Mark was able to come back in. So those are the kind of things we have friends.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of things that we like. We like to be able to just talk. So yeah,
Sure.
Please come on over.
Yeah, and even if you don't want to be on video, we can just take the video out and you can be on audio.
Correct.
And
Yep.
or if you just want to be in the chat room, that's totally fine. Whatever you want to do, it's zero pressure, but it's kind of fun because we get to go deep on topics and have really good conversations. And that's really what this is about, is getting to know you guys better. Yeah. All right. So today we are going through the news, and we also have a trip report from Becky. She was just there for several days with her family, so we have not heard anything about anything. Maybe we have seen a couple pictures here and there, but we have not heard any details, so we're going to get into that. And then, and I think that's going to be it. But today's opening question is, okay. So Becky, you just came back from Disneyland, and if you had a magic key, how often would you really want to go to the park? That's the first part. How often would you really want to go? And then the second part is the one that I kind of am more interested in, is how do you want to use Disneyland? How, and the reason why I say that is because I'll just go on and say that I have a magic key, and I like to go every 4 months. So like three times a year, I like to go. I was thinking that the period between the 4 months was, that's going to be too soon, or it's going to be too far. And it seems like a nice amount of time for me. But I feel as if I went more, it might lose some of its magic for me. And the way I want to use Disneyland is I want to use it as a celebration, or to do something with friends and family that we can celebrate together. Not like on a random Tuesday night because I'm bored, I have nothing to do, I want to go to Disneyland. That might take a little bit of the magic away from me, but I may be contradicting myself here. But just the other day, it was a Thursday, and the wind was kind of just gently blowing, and I'm thinking, oh man, how cool would it be just if I was within an hour from the park, just to go on the railroad, maybe grab some dinner, maybe do some ride, hang out until, things got dark, and then come home. And I was like, oh my God, I would love that. I would love that. Anyway, so, sorry, I'm kind of spoiling the question here, but how often would you guys want to go in reality, and then how do you want to use the park? Okay.
So I actually agree with a lot of what you said, especially this trip. Which I can talk about a little bit later. There's something that felt really extra magical about it, being with family and just experiencing it in a way that was very vacation-like. Like we weren't rushing to do everything.
Right.
I wasn't trying to rush after work to get there. And I really think, ideally, if I could go 2 times a year to 3, I think would really be the perfect amount, because you get to experience it in a way that is like celebration. It you are seeing new things throughout the year. I feel like I could go every day, every single day, and just,
Really? Really?
walk. I really think I could just walk through there and leave, kind of like use it as getting my steps in. But I wouldn't want to lose the magic for my children because I think that there is something special about, I don't know, like we worked hard to save for it.
Oh, totally.
We worked hard to plan for it.
Yep.
And there is a level of excitement with that really is just different than if you're a local and you're, hey, let's meet there for a burger after work, or let's just go catch the fireworks after work.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you said that you want to go 2-3 times a year. Is that multiple day trips? Or is it like scanning in like 3 times a year?
No, I would want to go. I would want my trips to be like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, minimum 2 days, right?
I agree. Even this last trip, I felt like I wish we could have done 4 and done 2 at each park.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm. I really felt like that.
Okay. And the way you want to use the park is just... What? I didn't quite understand.
Well, I guess, I didn't fully explain. So I guess use the park as more of a, like, take it in. I want to see new shows. I want to go and see new merchandise. I don't want to walk in and see the same exact things I just saw a month ago. Like, to me, it has something special of, you're going in and like, oh my gosh, look at these new bags that they have, or look at this new sweatshirt that they have this year. I really like kind of that aspect of it. And as far as use the park, I guess it'd be more like I don't want to say like a tourist, not necessarily seeing like the big things, but just, I don't know, like a slow pace, taking it all in.
Sounds like my advice from last time. Mm-hmm. Or actually, we all agreed on the same advice. Okay, I like the answer. Udi?
Well, I think when, for me personally, I will always go back to the pre-COVID year. Because I think to me that was the perfect amount of, we were going out, basically going once a quarter. Okay, so that equates to once every 3 months or 4 times a year.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I think is a little bit different for us versus somebody who lives down there is that the fact that when we go, we do have to go through the extra part of that, right? The planning, like you're talking about, Becky. Mm-hmm. So when we go, we're hardly ever going to go for a 1-day trip. So, I mean, when we go, we're like... 2-day minimum.
Yeah.
If not, we're trying to. I mean, we've talked about it ad nauseum to when we were pre-COVID and we had that pass. We were doing 4-day trips. 4-day trips. Okay, so we were catching.
You may have done a 5-day trip.
I may have.
I think you did.
I think it was 4. I snuck in Thursday night, Friday, Saturday. Ooh, no, I came back Sunday night.
Okay.
So, but yeah, but our mentality and how we look at it is different from the local, right? Because while we appreciate the park for all those different things, but we also realize that we're going to go and our time spent is a little bit more valuable because we know it's limited. So the ability for us, I think we put more of a weight onto the fact of like you were saying. You liked your trip this time because it felt like more like a vacation. So for avid goers that live away from the park, that we need to do all the extra things, I think it's kind of like this weird thing where you have to feel that nice, easy pace, but then also recognizing that window is going to close in a day and a half or 2. Yeah. So that we have that constant threat. It's like this, like... My favorite analogy, or my favorite, I guess I can't think of the word, but it's the sort of Damocles over your head. Like I dropped that the other day with my brother. He's like, "What is an obscure reference?" He knows what it is, but he goes, "You know how many people don't know what that is?" I'm like, "I know," but anyway, but that's what it is. Like you're having a good time, but you have that sword hanging over your head because at some point in time that's going to drop.
Sure.
So for the local, I think it's completely different. That whole aspect of that is gone. So it's like such a shift. So for me, coming to answer the question, is I would want to go back to that. Go to the park once every 3 months. Go for a 2 to 3 day trip, and then I would use the park to be what it was for me that year, a complete removal of my life and a break from that. But the other end of it was who I was with. Because what it did is it brought me, like, I went with Mark, I went with Jess, I went with 13, I went with Joey, I went with
Chew.
Huh?
Didn't you go to Chew?
Yeah, one time.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, we met. Yeah. So, yeah, with Chew, and then see what I'm saying. So, you have all these different people around you that all find the same love of the park. So it made that better because the company you were keeping was there for the same thing. So I even when I was a local down there, we didn't visit that park. I mean, we did it multiple times a year, but even then, we never had the mentality of like, well, I can just come back tomorrow. We didn't have that.
No.
So the people you're with is super important. So that's what I would, and to be real, that's one of the main reasons why I have yet to go back with an AP is because I don't feel right now that what the park is offering is going to let me do that. It isn't going to let me go back to that because to me, that is the perfection of what the park is for me. Once every 3 months with people that I like, and I don't have to feel a rush 2 or 3 days, but I can't do that right now because of so many different reasons, but that's what it is.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, I would just take it as a break and then a time to reconnect with my family, with my chosen family.
Sure.
And my friends.
Yeah.
I think, though, to your point, when you were going pre-COVID, I remember you going several times and just checking in, and I was like, oh, I'm a little jealous because I'm working and you're out there doing your stuff. But I also found it, I was very happy for you because what you were going through in that particular point in your life with your family stuff, I thought that maybe you found the park to be therapeutic.
It was.
And like, oh, this is sometimes like when Raleigh Crump was saying, oh, this is the park that hugs you back sort of thing. And that's, I think maybe you were feeling that. I'm not telling you how you felt, but
No. You're touching on exactly what it was. That's why that is why I understand what the park can do and what it can do for people. And when I feel like for very arbitrary, nonsensical reasons, corporate isn't allowing the park to fully re-engage with that, I feel like that's the disconnect.
Okay, but to that point again, I think, and Becky might correct me if I'm wrong, I'm willing to bet if you were to go tomorrow, you would go, I've missed this place. Holy crap!
Oh, I would 100%.
Am I wrong or right?
No, I feel that. And like it, well, in just going this time, like leading up to it, like my family had influenza A, my brother's family had it.
Oh man.
My grandpa had it and was not doing well. We weren't sure if he's going to make it. There was just this heaviness about our world at that moment. People fighting on social media where it just felt heavy. And then going there, it really felt like we forgot everything.
Yeah, beautiful.
Totally.
And you could just come together. Like even with my siblings, we all have such different, strong personalities.
Same.
And and to be there and like have something in common that we can all be excited about, we can all share within our family. There is just something magical. And I even think that this answer is different. If you ask us in 5 years the same question, I might have a different answer for you.
Okay,
because it does depend on what's going on in your life, where you're at. Like right now, I'm in the thick of it. I've got 2 toddlers. We're busy. So the process to even get there is a lot. But if things are moving along and I could sneak out there with my sister for an alone trip, things are different that way. Or like you said, you're going through something personal, it is like a therapy. It really is.
It totally is. And like I know we've said this before, is that we love the park. Yeah, sometimes we get upset with the company, but I'm trying to separate the park from the company.
Yeah.
I know for sure whatever ill will you have towards Iger and the company, you would go, okay, this place still rocks.
Oh yeah, and so here is the beauty and the conundrum all at the same time, right? Because you're 100% right.
Yeah.
I know when I go back to the park and I walk in, all the emotion of missing that. I will never say that I won't. I'll never get to a point where the animus is so great against the company that it would rob me of the joy of the park. Okay, so but then becomes a conundrum for me in my mind. Mm-hmm. You guys know me that I'm very much of a guy like you can blah 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 all day long.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean anything. I mean, I go back to the pen that I'm wearing right now. It says acta non verba, which means actions, not words. So this is the conundrum that I fall into for me personally. I don't knock anybody for you or anybody for going to the park. I applaud it, and I'm happy because I know what that means for you guys.
Okay.
So when you go, Mark, and when you went, Becky, I was like, awesome. You guys are going to have a great time, and I know it. The conundrum for me personally becomes the thing is like the park represents so many things for me. Family, unity, peace, escapism, fantasy, imagination, so many things, thrill, hope.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a big one.
Reassurance, Udi.
Exactly, all those things, okay?
Yeah.
But how do you, as a person of my mentality, go, but by me contributing to that, I am going to ignore the other side of the coin. And I'm not saying that you guys or anybody's bad for doing this. It's just me personally. This is my thought process.
Okay.
Only me. I cannot, in good conscience right now, until I see things that change out of that company corporate-wise,
okay,
structure-wise, that I can support them more than I am now. That is where it comes to.
Okay.
So it's me drawing a hard line in the sand and go, I will go this far, no further. So I know, I will admit it openly, I miss the park.
Yeah.
I miss not only that, but I miss going with the people that I go with. I miss going with you. I miss going with my family. I miss going with my friends. I miss that aspect of the park. But I am also lucky enough that the people that I would go with, I get to talk to on a daily basis pretty much all the time.
Okay.
So I have that connection with those people still. But it is different when we're all together in the park. Mm-hmm. And unless you get it, you won't get it. You know, it's the if you know, you know.
Yes.
So that's the conundrum for me.
And this line you're talking about, I suspect you're towing it as well.
What do you mean towing it?
This line in the sand?
What do you mean by towing it, though?
I think you're very close to this line.
Yeah.
Like you're getting ready to step over.
I mean, your toes right there.
No, I am. No, my toes are on it because again, and this goes back to the whole thing about being hopeful and having a white pill about it. I've been saying it for a while. I still have a white pill about the company because slowly but surely I see the boat turning. I'm watching it turn and I'm like, you're almost at that point where now I can see you steaming back in this direction. I'm like, okay, now I'm going to hop on and help paddle in this direction. So that's where I am mentally. Once I see to a point where I'm satisfied that the company has turned to a point where I am like, now I can fully get back on board 100,000,000%, and you can have my support that you had pre-COVID, and then I'm going to jump in there and go, paddle as hard as I can because I want it to continue. So that's the only way that I feel like I can help, and I'm air quoting help, is by criticizing, pointing fingers, going, I don't like that. You're going to I'm removing my support at this level because you haven't earned that. You've lost that from me. But if you change, I want to reward that change, and I want to say, good, keep that up. It's giving the attaboys to the people when they get better. When Disney, and it is turning.
Yes.
With the news we're hearing about Lucasfilm potentially, all these things are beginning to show signs of it turning. So as it turns and it gets to a point where I'm happy with it, then you're going to see me jump on that board and let's go that way. Full steam ahead, let's go. So that's what I'm saying for me.
And that way, he's talking to listeners. He's talking about south on I-5 for about 6 hours.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Or south via plane for about an hour and 15.
There you go.
So that's what I'm talking about. So that's why I'm saying it's always such a weird thing for me. I recognize that I'm stuck in this weird spot, but I have to stand true to what I believe and how I
Well, I
live my
applaud
life.
that, but no, there's no but. No, there's not, because I don't want to go on to this diatribe.
Oh, because I can go on forever.
I know.
because-
We want listeners to enjoy the show.
I know they'd be like, "Shut that guy up already." I know, Derek. I know.
Okay.
And my brother's gonna be listening, going like, "Dude, shut up, Rudy."
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, that's
That's
a
a
little.
good question, though.
That was a good question because
Oh, thank you.
No, because it hits deep because it goes deep into the core of why we go into the
Yeah, I mean, I think about it often. Like, I want to go, and I asked the girls, "You guys want to go down this weekend or something?" Because we totally can. Oh no, we just went, and it's cost too much money because I have to get a hotel and stuff. And it's like, okay. But then I go, yeah, I want it to be special for them too, and I don't want them to lose the magic. But like I said, dang it! Just the other day, I was walking outside, and like the wind hit me, and I go, I was just.
I totally get what you're saying.
Well-
Like, you just feel the crispness in the air.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah,
oh,
but-
it would be beautiful.
But what a lot of people don't know, because you guys wouldn't know, is that Mark is very good at, in our text thread, be like, blah, 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 like bringing something, and then he'll throw in, by the way. Like, out of the blue will be, by the way, it'd be great to be in the park right now.
Oh,
and
yes.
I'm always like, son of a... Yes, Mark, you're correct.
Yeah, he's right. He's right about that.
He will do it randomly. I'm like, my text pops up. I'm like, what did Mark say? It says Mark, because we have our group thread. And I'm like, oh, it's LTP, and I'm like, okay, oh,
Yeah, I mean,
Well-
go ahead, Becky.
Well, I was just going to say, and with that, though,
True.
there is something... Maybe it's because I'm getting old now, but there
oh
is
yeah,
something
Grandma,
that...
whatever.
Yeah.
But you're only, I think you're like 25, aren't you?
I know that's what I'm
Yeah,
going with.
yeah, those mid-20s are rough, but there is just something about leaving and wanting to go back and having that inside you of wanting it that is just like, I don't even have words for it.
Yeah.
Versus like, we've been a couple times already, we don't really need to go back, or let's go somewhere else.
Yeah.
There's just something about leaving and already missing it that is good. Like,
Oh,
I can
yeah.
sit with that.
Yeah.
Versus I feel like maybe even being younger, you're like, no, but I want this now, and
Sure,
I
sure.
want it because I want it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and to that, and you're spot on, Becky. And to that point as well, there have been many times when Udi and I are either driving back or at the airport leaving on our phones going, hey, wait a minute, we can actually come back in like 2 months and let's start scheduling it like right now. We've done that.
Yeah. Yep. True story.
Yeah, and it's like, and every time I leave, I feel like I don't want to go home now. There's so many things I want to check out. And anyways, okay, good opening question, I suppose. That's part of a lot.
I feel like that could have been a whole episode.
Well,
What?
I'm going to tell you this.
It could be.
No, it could be, but if we do it, what I want to tie it into is the Disney adult conversation that we want to have. And remember the idea that you had for that other show idea that you had that you brought up?
Should we talk about it now?
Do you want to? I will, if you want to bring it up.
Well,
we haven't really fleshed it out, so I don't know if you want me to put that out there.
Oh,
That's why I'm kind of trying to
Okay.
talk in code.
oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay.
But if you want to, I'll bring it up, Mark. You know me. I can yammer on about that. Do you want me to?
Yeah, we might as well get the seeds out there so people that are listening.
Okay, so Mark came up with a good idea, which I really thought, and Becky's on board. I'm pretty sure Jess will be too. She's at work again. Okay, I just feel like I need to say this. Jess is trying desperately to get out of work obligations to be here more often.
Yeah.
She's trying really hard, guys. So she is trying to get back as much as she can. So anyway, I just feel like-
I mean, Jess isn't MIA. I mean, she's just not.
No.
We
talk
talk.
to her every week. She is part
She's
of.
still part.
She's
yeah, I
in
was
our
gonna
thread.
say.
She's
Yeah,
there.
she is.
She's part of the show. So I feel like when she's not on for a little while, people will start wondering what's going on. That's what's going on. Okay?
Yeah, and she will be back.
She will be. But the idea was that we want to begin to have panel type discussions about different topics with other podcasters and things like that, right? So we want to do that, and I really wanted our first, and this is what I was going to tell Mark. I really want our first.
LTP roundtable.
LTP roundtable to be discussing.
Wait a minute.
Discussing.
I just thought of something. during LTP Roundtable, we could actually have
We could.
pizza.
Yeah, roundtable to roundtable.
Yeah, some garlic
That sounds
twists.
very yummy.
Ooh, those are good.
Garlic twists are fire.
very good.
as the kids say.
And they're fire.
They're lit.
Yeah. But I want to have that topic and basically sit down and talk about the term Disney adult.
Oh, yes.
And I think it's a very, 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 I think it'd be a very interesting conversation to have. So, yeah. So, we're trying to figure out, we're just like, it literally just brought up a day ago, 2 days ago?
Yes.
Of time of recording that we want to do that. So,
Yep.
we're going to try to have like an LTP roundtable type thing to try to bring in and begin interacting with other podcasters. This is what I was talking about earlier about podcasting, stretching our legs,
Yeah.
and beginning to interact more. We have been a little insular, admittedly, because we really like our stuff. And that's maybe conceited, but that's fine. I'll own that. But I will
Well, I'm
own it.
glad you said that, Eddie.
I will own it. I'm proud of what we do here. I'm proud of the work that Mark mostly does. I'm proud of it.
Yeah, Mark works super hard.
Well, thank you very
Yeah,
much.
It's a reality, man. But I want to be able to then begin to branch out and get other points of view because they're important.
Yeah.
They're important and connecting at
Sure.
different levels. So we're gonna start trying to flesh out how we can pull that off.
Yep.
In a way that can be beneficial and meaningful for you guys to listen to. Because I don't want to be some hodgepodge thrown together kind of thing.
No.
We'd rather put out something that's thought out, produced properly, and that way can be benefit for everybody. So we're going to work on that because I think it's a fantastic idea. And whatever, if you guys hear this and any podcast that's out there listening to this and you hear that, please contact us. And then anybody else out there who's listening who has an idea of a podcast or a person, whatever, please contact us. You guys know we're very open. We listen to everybody. We want everybody to communicate with us. So please come our way with that.
And to that, I'll add that you don't have to have a podcast. If you're a listener to the LTP and you have a thought that you want to join in,
100%.
Yeah.
join the LTP roundtable. And it's we don't know how it's going to drop into the sequence of episodes. It might just be like we're going to drop it in. Next episode could be this.
Yeah, these are all the details we need to kind of talk about and work through. But
yeah. So, anyways, to stimulate discussion, and that might be a very good topic about Disney adulting.
I think it's a banger of a topic, honestly, because I think there's so many different ways to go with it, and I think we need to begin to push back on what a lot of people they use that as a derogatory term, and I will say there are certain people out there that have earned it to be yelled at them as a pejorative. Okay, there are some people who need to be yelled at for that. But as a whole, I will say that it should be a badge of honor versus something to be ashamed of. So.
Okay.
I have a question though. Am I a Disney adult if I'm only 25? Or am I considered?
You're gonna be the best kind of correct, which is technically.
Yes.
Technically, yeah.
All right. Well, with that crazy opening question, and maybe the opening question could be another topic too.
Holy crap, we're still at.
I know. We
I
need
know.
Okay.
Good Lord.
All right. With that, let's go to the news.
You listen to me now. You are talking about things that you do not understand.
All right. The first news item is that Disneyland Railroad has a guided tour right now. Take a journey to discover Walt Disney's passion for trains and ride in the presidential car of the Disneyland Railroad, the Lily Bell. All aboard. Get a look into Walt Disney's love for trains and discover the impact it had on the Disneyland Resort. On this eye-opening 90-minute tour, sure to delight both Disneyland fans and railroad enthusiasts alike. You'll snack on a treat. You get to enjoy a sweet pastry to steam power your journey through the Disneyland park. You step into the past. You get to walk through the park listening to stories about where the idea behind Walt's train creations first started. Understand the impact the trains had on Walt Disney's dreams from animation and film all the way to theme parks. You get to learn about the Disneyland Park Roundhouse. This is where the magic happens for the historic Disneyland Railroad system, where the trains are kept overnight and cared for. You'll learn about the building and the engineers that look after the Disneyland monorail and the trains. You get to take a special ride. During your guided tour, you can climb aboard Disneyland Railroad's special presidential car, the Lily Bell. Take the scenic route along the rivers of America to see landscapes inspired by 4 of America's majestic rivers, the Mississippi, the Columbia, the Missouri, and the Rio Grande. Each are carefully recreated, complete with indigenous rock formations, natural forests, wildlife, and 5 picturesque waterfalls. Riding in the Lily Bell is dependent on weather and availability. You get to meet a train engineer. You can take advantage of special opportunity to interact with train engineer and hear about the unique relationships they have with the Disneyland trains. And then you get a special keepsake. For that, it's $125. Is that something you guys would like to do?
I want to ask you that question first.
$125. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Which I'm guessing does not include your ticket into the park.
No.
No.
You need a ticket, and you also need a reservation, Becky. So that's in case you forgot. You can't just show up right now. Being sarcastic. If this was the Jungle Cruise, no-brainer for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never seen the Roundhouse, of course. I mean, not many people have, I suppose, that don't work for the company. I would give this a lot of thought. This is not a hard no at all for me. I would have to see if other people, no one would want to do it with me. So it'd have to be like, hey, I'm going to do this for an hour and a half.
That's why I wanted to ask you, because I'm in the same like camp as you with that. I'm like, man, that's kind of cool.
It's kind of cool.
But 125, I'm like, I would be. It would be one of those like game time. Like I'm sitting there, like, am I going to do it or am I going to not? Because it's always fun to kind of go back into the history and understanding that, and then to be able to go into areas of the park that you haven't been able to access and things like that. So that kind of stuff is so cool to me. I love that kind of BTS kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So there is that of me that goes, I kind of want to do that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. If we went for like 3 days, I might do this on the 3rd day because I would have made sure I've gotten all my stuff done in the first 2 days.
Right.
And the 3rd day would have been, okay, let's revisit some things I haven't seen yet or that we liked. This might be the time where I could actually go, okay, let's go and do this. So that is when I would do this.
Yeah, and you know what? I will tell you, though, I'm with you 100% with the jungle part. Because if they're doing that with jungle, and you're like, I'm right there with you.
Or Indy.
Indy would be a good one, too. Like that.
Rise of the Resistance.
Rise, Pirates,
yeah, something
Indy,
where it's like really...
Mansion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%.
Uh-huh.
Dude. Yeah.
But this, I think I could do this.
Yeah. I'm definitely on the fence, but leaning towards the affirmative. You know what I mean? Like I'm going like, I may want to do that.
Yeah.
I think it'd be something fun, like if I went and Tim was like, "Oh, it's my birthday or something. We happen to go," and he surprised me and was like, "Here, like go on the tour. I'm gonna take the kids."
Oh, well, yeah.
I feel like that would be super special.
Yep, that would be. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad they're doing this.
Oh yeah, me too. 100%. When you look at it one way, I mean, the railroad isn't running right now, right? So.
Which is interesting because how are you taking a ride on the Lily Bell if it's not running?
Right. Well, maybe they're getting shorted little track run. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
Isn't it? Because isn't it closed right now? Am I wrong with that? Yeah. Or did it? No, maybe I should check.
Well, I think the scrim walls went down like late last week, but I think the track should be already laid by now. It's supposed to open.
I would think so.
Like just about to fully open.
Yeah, I thought somewhere in mid-March it was going to open. I don't know.
Let me see if it shows it.
I'm wondering when it will No, I gotta look.
It does show it's still down now.
Okay, I could probably. I wonder if Disney Parks blog would have.
It opens this week. I think
there we go.
Because next Sunday it shows it
open.
It shows it available.
Okay, so there we go. So that makes sense to me now. So I stopped my thought because I'm wait a second. Is it open? Because I was about to say, like...
When did it open?
She's saying it'll probably open next week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks like Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so good. Yeah, good.
Awesome. All right. Next news item is our first look at Encanto ride pitched for Disneyland expansion. The
Casita Madrigal.
attraction coming to Disney's Animal Kingdom has been dangled as a possible project in the Disneyland Forward plan. Concept art of the Encanto attraction will be part of the new Tropical Americas themed land debuting at Animal Kingdom in 2027. The OC Register reported that Disneyland is considering the Encanto attraction as part of their Disneyland Forward plans. The world's first Encanto ride is set to debut at Walt Disney World and offers a glimpse of what the future could hold for the Disney resort over the next couple of decades. I don't like that. Okay. So, yeah, what we have here is the new Encanto attraction promises to take riders on a journey through the
Casita Madrigal.
family home as they follow Antonio's story on the day after he receives his magical gift. Okay, so what we have here is basically, it looks like it's a water ride. Some of this clip art is I can tell it's from Avatar, but it looks like there's a boat ride that's going to be going through scenes of Encanto.
Question.
Yeah.
Being that I have not seen Encanto, is there a water element in that movie?
So no. So basically, his gift is he can talk with animals.
Yeah. No, I saw that
that's
part.
his gift. No, there's not water. But basically, I mean, there's water in it, like little lakes. But no. But there is aspects where he's like sliding through it. It's basically, so you open your room, he has his gift, and now his new room is like this big, huge tree, almost like the tree of life at Animal Kingdom.
Oh, yeah.
And he has all these animals, and they're like sliding through it and moving. So it actually would be really cool to be like a Seven Dwarfs Mine Train type ride vehicle. But in that's what I would picture, like going through the house and like experiencing the gift.
Interesting. Okay.
I wouldn't picture water, but maybe they are.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know how much further we should go into this because I guess they're going to build it out in Animal Kingdom first and then maybe port some of it here to Disneyland Forward. So yeah, I'm all for that. I think we need something new. Some new IP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Never mind.
Oh, well, I mean, what I don't like is it's going to be decades. That part bothers me.
Well, yeah. And I would like to see something different than is at Animal Kingdom.
Of course.
I think it has a lot of like positive elements it could bring.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, yeah, there's that news item. So we shall see what gets ported over here. Next item is Easter character dining experiences at Storytellers Cafe, right? Yeah. On April 20th, Storytellers Cafe will have a special brunch and dinner character dining experience for Easter Day. Bookings opened on February 27th, and this is a one-day only experience.
Oh, cool. I actually like things like that.
Me too.
That is actual scarcity, by the way, everybody. That is a real scarcity.
What's that?
That
One day only.
Not like APAs. Oh, we may sell out. Get out of here.
Yeah, so this is for $65 for adults and $36, not $35, but $36 per child. Okay.
I would do that. I would do this.
Well, considering the first item is bourbon glazed country ham.
Hey,
That's
Of
right.
course.
Bourbon.
in my defense, I didn't even look at that yet.
Okay.
But now that I've seen it, well, there you go. I don't really eat ham though, so.
Herb crusted ribeye, garlic mashed potatoes, an assortment of Eastern inspired desserts, and array of beverages. Okay, great. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot more than what they're saying here.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh right, that's the brunch, and then the dinner is pork tenderloin, barbecue chicken, herb roasted ribeye, shrimp cocktail for Udi, seasonal roasted vegetables, desserts, Eastern inspired desserts, and beverages.
I'd rather do the brunch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the brunch does sound really
Oh, wait a
good.
minute. Oh, yeah, brunch is 65, and dinner is 85.
Yeah. Well, look why? Because they have tenderloin, chicken, and ribeye, as opposed to the brunches, ham and a ribeye.
Yeah, I don't know. 85 seems kind of steep for that, but I probably wouldn't do that. But I would. 1:30 to 9 o'clock. Oh, some 7 to 1 is the buffet, brunch buffet. Okay. Interesting. Well, that is good that they're doing that. Next news item, and this is interesting here. Demolition begins on Tortilla Joe's in downtown Disney. After permanently closing last year, Tortilla Joe's at downtown Disney District is now being demolished. Let's see here. Signs were previously removed, but now other elements have been demolished. The straw awning above the front entrance is now back. Okay, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. On the second floor balcony, bread panels have been removed in the fronts of to support pole bases. Sorry. On the second floor balcony, red panels have been removed from the fronts of to support pole bases. On the first floor, a shutter-like awning is gone from the above doorway. Blah, blah, blah. Basically, this building is being demoed to make way for Arthur & Son Steak and Bourbon and Pearl's Roadside Barbecue. I mean, I forgot about the roadside barbecue, honestly.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I mean, I was fixated on Arthur & Son Steakhouse.
Yeah, you have been.
Yeah. And of course, we've seen concept art of both of these. So, yeah, this is actually going in motion as we speak. I would imagine that this will be fully demoed by the end of the month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it should be, but I'm see, this is where my trade comes in. I'm curious how much of the hard structure they're keeping and how much they need to do that for structural integrity and what the design is. So, for what a lot of people, when they're doing this kind of remodel, a full demo is easier to do, obviously, because you're just getting in there, ripping things out and bringing it down. And without seeing the plans, obviously I can't comment on it. But I'm curious. I'm curious how long it will take them because of how it's going to relate to the new design and what they're going to do for that.
Yeah.
So I would love, that's one of the things that I wish I could work for any company with Disney just so I can see plans.
Sure.
Because I will break out, like, for everybody who doesn't know, blueprints on paper is one of the, it's like, I love it, man.
Oh, okay.
They're huge. I mean, they're a huge piece of paper, and I can sit there and pour through them and read about detail this and how they want to do this and how their plan is, because in those plans we'll have every detail, literally, about how they're going to build something, assemble something, and put it, so you can get, if you're like granular like that,
Yeah.
everything is in there. So I will do, I'm like, just give me the glossary, what section is that in, and you turn to and start reading. So anyway.
Okay.
You
would love
and my
doing that.
brother-in-law would be like this going,
Oh, you
just
mean,
looking
you
at
mean the Sparky?
yeah. He like looks at everything like that, like
Yep.
just
Mhm.
loves it, wants to talk through it,
Mhm,
like
mhm.
wants to talk to somebody who works there and does it. Like
Oh, yeah.
he
Oh,
loves it.
I would, oh my God. Let's talk about that. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, what's your prediction for this being operational?
Operational? I don't know. I can't give it. Give it another month. Let me see pictures of what they do with the full demo and where they stop the demo process, and then I can probably start getting some kind of idea. I can start trying to compare where they are at the demo stopping and what their concept art is, and I can maybe start trying to make some better educated ideas on how long it's going to be.
Yeah, the concept art looks great.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So-
still can't picture how the how Pearls ties into it though.
Well, you can
Like
see
visually, I can't picture it.
where it is.
Well, yeah, like it's because Pearls is going to be like right next to it, right?
If you
Or,
look
like,
at the,
connect-
do you see the concept art?
Yeah, I see the concept art.
Okay, if you look to the right of it, that you see that walk-up window,
Oh, I see now. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, now I see it.
and then the bottom picture of Pearls has that walk-up window on the left.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah, so it's going to be more like to the side of it.
Yep.
Kind of like too. Yeah, that's cool.
Interesting. Yeah, this is going to be interesting place for sure. Nice. My guess is probably, I think by this time next year they open up.
No likelihood, high likelihood, yeah.
I was saying maybe by fall, but maybe.
But yeah, because I mean, I'm gonna tell you this right now, and like anything, the need and the urge to get that into a profitable endeavor as quickly as possible. That is the whole drive. I mean,
Sure.
right now, the only thing that's going is money's going out with the demo, the remodel, and everything. So they're gonna want to make it a profit engine as soon as they can.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing that in my trade, one of the reasons why we're pushed to go as much as we can is because they want to turn that apartment complex into a revenue-making venture right away. So the sooner you get tenants in, work and paying rent, you begin to recoup your expenditure. So perfect example is the plan I'm on right now. It is a 7 building project. And as we finish buildings, they're literally releasing buildings and having people move in while the rest of the buildings are still in
Oh,
construction.
jeez.
So that's what we're in right now, and this is going to be no different. The need to get that to bring money in is going to be paramount. It should be paramount, and so they're going to try to go as quick as they can. And this is when regulations and coding gets in your way. By the way, everybody,
Okay.
and this is why everything goes up in price. Anyway.
Okay.
Just had to throw that out there.
All right. Next news item is downtown Disney District monorail service entrance gets gate to prevent guest confusion. So Disneyland has added a permanent metal gate to the service entrance of the downtown Disney District monorail station, and this is the back side of it. This is the service entrance. I guess there's been confusion with guests walking around. I don't know what they're doing back there, anyways, and they feel like they can enter the monorail.
Really?
Yeah, are you not getting the picture?
No, like it's not. Hold on. Yeah, I'm missing the picture. So people are trying to go back. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
like in the back part.
yeah. So that's I mean, this is the back of it. This is where you're done, and there's the Rainforest Cafe.
Yeah.
The back of it. And I guess you can walk back there, but people trying to get into it from that way. I don't know what people are doing back there. Anyways.
There's a big gate right over there where it was a turnstile and everything.
Yeah.
What did we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People. My lord.
Oh shoot, where did it go?
Okay, there we go.
It loaded.
Yeah. Well, I had to go through it.
Oh yeah.
With that, then I guess they probably need it as a safety
It's
prevention.
literally on the right. Like, keep on walking around. You'll get to it. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Like, nothing says, "Hey, come on in," like a lock gate. I mean, really.
Yep. I guess that's the times we're living in these days. People just trying to get.
I don't. Looking at the picture, I mean, I don't get how people would be like, "Why can't I get in?" I mean, the only other thing that you could make it like more saying "Don't come in here" would be armed guard and barbed wire. I mean, that's how clear it is. Like, this is not where you go in.
Well, they had just put that up because people were going in there.
Again, my point. None of that. Even look
It's
at
like
that.
the dumpsters.
Dumpsters and trash can. Like, these are all.
Yeah.
If you're aware.
Wow.
That's the back. That's what I'm saying. Ay, Dios mío. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Anyways, again, the times we're living in, we didn't do that. Do not go. Okay.
Don't go there. There's trash cans. If you really think walking in Disneyland, you're going to be walking by big dumpsters and that's your entrance.
Okay.
Anyway.
There's your pro tip.
There's your pro tip.
If there's a big
That
dumpster.
is my thing. If you see a big dumpster, you're probably in the wrong spot.
Yeah. Next news item is the happiest place on earth book celebrating Disneyland's 70th anniversary is available on pre-order on Amazon.com. A new hardcover book called The Happiest Place on Earth, The Incredible Story of Walt Disney's Disneyland celebrates 70th anniversary of Disneyland and is now available for pre-order. The book is written by Don Hahn and Christopher Merritt, with a foreword by CEO Bob Iger. Hahn produced the classic Disney animated film Beauty and the Beast and has also written several other books. Merritt has over 25 years of experience as a Disney Imagineer, designing and creating theme park attractions and environments for Disney parks around the world. The book description reads, on the 70th anniversary of Disneyland, a look back at the theme park that started it all, an illustrated history of Walt's first theme park. It's a coffee table book, and it's going to be brimming with more than 750 images, previously unpublished documents, and concept drawings. The book is organized in sections based on the 5 original lands of Disneyland, which include Main Street USA, Adventureland, Frontierland, Fantasyland, and Tomorrowland. Book includes details about Lost Lands and offers a look into the atmosphere of the park through the 50s and 60s. Other details include a rare look into the renowned vault of the Walt Disney Imagineering art library, as well as recently discovered artwork. Yep.
2 questions.
Yes.
For you, Mark.
Uh-huh.
1, have you looked to see how much it is?
I know how much it is.
How much is it?
What's your guess?
I'm going to go with like 80.
Okay. What's your guess, Becky?
I was going to say like 25.
Oh, no, it wouldn't be 25.
It's going to be a big one. Okay, so then the other question is, did you pre-order it already?
Not yet.
Okay, so how much is it?
60.
Okay, see?
Okay.
So, in fact, Wendy was over here. We were talking about this the other day.
Shout out Wendy. Hey, Wendy.
Yeah. That book on my coffee table right there, if you turn around, that Disneyland book, she got me that a couple years ago. And that, to me, is the best book I've ever had on Disneyland.
It's a cool book.
It's everything. I'm like, and now we're going through pictures the other day, and I was like, this is why this picture's cool, because just look in the background. These things aren't there anymore. And I know she doesn't really care, but she, humors me with this stuff.
God love her for humoring you.
Yes. So I think, and I'm a fan of these books. In fact, I used to buy the park books whenever they would come out. I've got a few of them lined up right there in that bookcase. You see on the middle shelf, all the ones, those are all park books. So yes, I'm going to get this for sure.
Yeah, I figured.
I may get it at Disneyland, but I might just pre-order it just to have it.
Well, it's a collector's item for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or like a historic
Whatever you
item.
do not rip out the Ford by Iger. Okay, don't do it.
Okay. I might get that book just so you can have that book, just so you can have the forward.
You can read the forward
Yeah.
to Udi. You could use
Don't
it
even
for
get me
when
going.
bathroom visits
Yes.
as reading material.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna read.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's just you guys, I'm sure won't get this.
No. I have a stack of books right now, and I'm reading is I still have Walt's autobiography that Christy bought me that I've only just scratched the surface of reading that one, or biography.
Yeah, that's ma'am.
And then I have the other book that I'm reading. You guys already know which one I'm reading.
Okay.
I actually think this is something I would want to get
Okay.
to have. Well, just to be able to look back on it in like 30 years and kind of see how things change.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, I think it's
Yeah.
cool, or even a decade from now,
Yeah.
to be able to look at it and reference that. I think
Well,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, and that would be pretty cool because I think I've been saying it for a while. We're at a pivotal part in the company and the parks in general. And definitely I would hope that the next 10 to 15 years are going to be crazy. At least it better be. It really should be crazy with development and introducing new things and moving forward in the company and parks in general.
Didn't they say they're going to turbocharge thing, whatever that?
If I hear
was?
turbocharge one more time,
Okay, well,
out of just these talking heads, it doesn't mean anything.
but it's turbocharged.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. It looks like.
Wait, do you want to talk about that one rumor floating around?
Hold on.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Okay.
Yeah, very apropos.
You keep it. Okay, I'm going to keep because I have limited time, but we need to keep this. I'm going to give you like a 4-minute timer already.
Yeah, go for it. Well, no, because you guys did chime in. Well, maybe you will, maybe you won't.
I won't because.
You already know where I'm
I
going.
don't have that much to add to it,
Okay.
or like I'm not educated on it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. This is a topic that Udi.
I pontificate on this and about this quite often.
Okay, your 4 minutes starts now. Go.
Boom. Okay, so the rumor mill now has once again started up about one person leaving the company. One of my favorite people in the whole company. She's right up there with Bob Iger's my list of my happy people. Like
Daisy Duck?
Yeah, Daisy Duck. So she's on my list of, when the people talk about like, hey, who would you have dinner with? Oh, she's in it, only so I could berate her for an hour or two. But anyway,
Okay.
So the rumor began, and this is why I'm bringing it up again because it's different. Kathleen Kennedy has been rumored to be leaving. Okay, Lucasfilm. We've discussed this over the years, a couple years ago, blah, blah. The reason why a lot of people now are beginning to take this a lot more serious is because of the source that it's coming from. And right now, I was like, I had the name in my head and it went. But I'll give you the general gist. The person who has reported that and began is a person who's very credible, who knows high up people in the industry. So a lot of the other rumors that have come in has been that have begun this discussion have been, for lack of a better way of putting it, lower tier people as far as getting information and where they get information from. This person is not that, and is very high up and has a very good reputation. So the assumption is that if he's saying it, the validity of what he's saying the probability is far higher, because not only is he in with the right people, he would also not be willing to sully his reputation with just random rumor. So a lot of the people are beginning to say, even though Kathleen Kennedy, in an article in Variety, I want to say, or Hollywood Reporter, one of those in the trades, has denied it already, but a lot of people are going like, nope, she's done and she's out. And now people are beginning to formulate names for her replacement. I actually watched a 25-minute video of people discussing the different names in both female and male people that are out there for her replacement. So it feels like she will be gone before end of year.
Okay.
And if that happens, I feel like, well, let me put a caveat on that. I feel like we're in better, but it really does depend on who is taking over.
Okay.
So I will say who I do not want to see taking over.
Oh, well, should we ask you who you want to see?
No, I don't really have. I really don't have a person that I want to take over.
Bob Iger?
No, but I want. I know who I don't want to have them take over. Anybody that is currently in the creative group for Disney.
Yeah.
No, that includes Dave Filoni.
Okay.
He cannot take over the company. Take over Lucasfilm.
Okay.
I think if he does that, we're in trouble. So there are plenty of people out there. The vast majority of the people out there should not take over Lucasfilm.
That is a true statement. The vast majority of people in the world should not take over.
Yeah, well, no, but the people who are in a position to, should not. It's going to take somebody outside of the normal wheelhouse and the normal conversations to take over the company, and therefore it can turn it around and actually give us content that is good and can maybe pump life back into one of my favorite things ever. So
okay. Overall good news if it happens.
Well, potentiality. The potentiality for good news is very high, and I'm very optimistic and white-pilled about what is coming. So let's keep my fingers crossed, and I think I beat 4 minutes.
Let's see.
How much time I had left?
You've got 16 seconds. Anything else you want to say?
Okay, let me add to it that Kathleen Kennedy is probably the worst thing that's ever happened in Star Wars. And no, 100% serious. And she is the main reason why Galaxy's Edge is not where it should be.
There. Time is done.
Boom.
I do have a question.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, Becky. You only encourage me.
You only had 4 minutes,
This will
Becky.
be fast.
Okay.
You win a free trip to the park.
Okay.
You either get to go with Kathleen Kennedy or Bob Iger. Who do you go with?
Bob Iger.
Okay.
No doubt.
Oh.
No doubt.
I thought you would say that because my mindset is you could point out to him certain things
Yeah,
from
it'd be like, here,
your perspective.
Because I would walk over with Kathleen Kennedy and say, you see Galaxy's Edge right here? You screwed this all up. And you already know how and why. So next, Iger would be more in a place where I'm like, here, let me give you the ground sentiment about. I see you made that decision. Here's the negative side of that. You see this decision? That's why that's bad. You can point it. He's in a position currently to actually make changes. Kathleen Kennedy is too much of a in her own sphere and doesn't really care because it's a movie company as a whole. So, but Bob Iger would more have effectual, real, tangible changes and effects in the parks. So that's why.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. All right. Well, let's do like the last news item here. It's also from Becky here.
Which we don't have to if you don't want to. I just thought it was interesting.
Oh, we'll just do it real quick.
Okay.
These rides are the winners for the highest wait times at Disneyland via Mickey Visit. Radiator Springs average weekly wait time for Radiator Springs racers is 67 minutes. Mm-hmm. Yearly average is 74 minutes. Okay, that is the highest. Rise
The
of
whole time I was there, it was 70 minutes,
Oh,
pretty
geez.
consistently.
No
Yeah.
way would I wait
Yeah.
for that fat.
Yeah.
Rise of Resistance is 56 minutes average. Around 58 to 50. Yeah, between 55 and 58 minutes.
And can I add that the queue for Rise is far bigger than Radiator Springs, though, isn't it?
I love the
Spatially?
queue.
Spatially?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I did wait 55 minutes for that. It was the very last thing I did. And the queue is great because there's so many places you could sit down.
Yes, yes.
It's covered if it's hot, if it's cold. Yeah, it's a great queue.
Okay.
Space Mountain ranges between 48 and 50 minutes. That seems right.
Yep.
Indies between 45 and 50 minutes.
Yep. All good. All
That's
good.
typical. Oh, Toy Story Midway Mania. That thing's always long.
I don't know
It's
why.
always long.
44 to 58 minutes.
Okay,
Why?
my thing is, I think it's just like the loading time.
That's got to be.
It has
Yeah,
to be.
I feel like that's the only thing.
Yeah, it's. Oh my gosh. Matterhorn is 41 to.
You skipped over Mansion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Haunted Mansion is 41 to 46 minutes.
Yep. Yep. All good.
That seems right. Matterhorn is 40 to 45 minutes. That could be a lot shorter than that for sure. Web Slingers, jeez, 38 to 42 minutes. That's averages. Soren is 37 to 45 minutes. Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, I think the one thing you can kind of glean from when you look at these kind of things is like look at the popularity of the higher end ones, right? So you're looking at Radiator and Rise, and I would argue a little bit because what we don't have on this list, which I would have been curious to see, would have been for
Under?
no for Mission Breakout.
Oh, jeez.
To compare with anything over in DCA, because we all know, everybody knows that Radiator Springs, buckle up, you're going to be there for a minute, right? Okay, that it has always been that way, and Rise is now becoming that. So when you look at that, and then you go all the way down, you see who's on the bottom end of that is like Web Slingers. I remember when last time I went, our queue time was an hour and 45. Okay, and the only reason why we did is because I was with my nephews. And they're like, yeah, they're all like, we want to be here. And I'm like, okay, then the point was to be there with them. So we did that. But you look at the ones that are on the high end, Indie, Space, Rise, Mansion. These are all attractions that are been there for a while, but they hold popularity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So these are the things that I know Disney looks at. And I'm always looking at it going like, that should be your indicator of what people really want to go to. So when you look at Radiator and Rise, that gives you good things like they want interaction and activity. So Radiator Springs is great because of, well, so many reasons, but the race aspect and then having that in and out of, you go through storyline, then you come to the race and you build through there and you have story, then race, you have a payoff. Rise of the Resistance, same thing. Story, payoff. And so I like that the higher end ones are actually story deep and then have a good payoff. So I find this kind of stuff fascinating to look at. So it's very cool. I think it's very telling. And I think people, and we said it before, but I think these are hard numbers that kind of point towards the fact that people want good engagement and good storytelling and entertainment as not only just because they want to ride on something that goes really fast or goes up and down a lot. You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good news segment. Now, let's go to the feature presentation.
Here at the LTP, we know that you're always looking to plan your next Disneyland getaway. That's why our good friends at the Eden Rock Hotel are now offering a discount code to our listeners to offer you 30% off your next stay. That's right, 30%. huge savings. Go on to their website at EdenRockAnaheim.com, enter the code EdenMagic, that's EdenMagic, for 30% off your next stay.
All right, here we are. The feature presentation. Becky just came back from a whirlwind tour of the Disney parks, the Disney Resort. The Disneyland Resort, I guess, is the proper term these days. It's no longer Disneyland; it's the Disneyland Resort.
Yes.
So before we do this, though, because she's fresh off of that, we're gonna do our tips. And this is meant to encourage anyone who's going to the parks anytime soon. Maybe you've been once or twice, or maybe you've been quite a few times, or maybe you're going with your family soon and you want to just maybe get the most out of it. We're just going to provide one tip each to augment your experience, because we're all pretty knowledgeable of what to do and where to go and how to experience the parks, as opposed to just get a lighting lane and hope for the best. That's not what we're going to say.
No.
So, do you have a tip? It could be anything that would make.
So my tip is going to be, this one's going to be, don't let, and we coming off of the story we just did, don't let a long posted wait time dissuade you from going to an attraction. Because a lot of people, this is what Lightning Lane and all that crap that Disney has kind of banked on, is because people will look at the wait times, go like, oh, I don't want to sit in line for an hour, or whatever it could be, right? But I'm going to tell you, and this is, I think this is going to be an overarching theme in what we all kind of, where we all come from, is because when you go into a queue and you're in the queue for an hour, half an hour, whatever it could be, the queues are done in a way to tell a story many times, and yet to be able to begin to get you mentally into the attraction before you get on that. So these lightning lanes and everything just make you want to run through it. That's why when it comes to indies, as much as I love that attraction, so many people just haul ass down to get there. I get that, but there is so much along the way. So I would say don't let a long wait time dissuade you from going to anything.
Okay.
Because get into the queue, hang out with the people you're with, but take that time to actually get mentally into the attraction, because those queues are there for that. Whether it can be as small as like, monsters or something, or anything that seem inconsequential. But look around. Look around at all the little things on the wall, the paint jobs, the signs, everything. Look around and take that all in, because I will tell you, if you do that, when you finally get onto the attraction, it will be a little bit more. It'll have a little bit more meaning behind it, other than just a random carnival ride that you're hopping on. So yeah, don't let it dissuade you. If you want to go ride something, go. Just go. Oh, it's a 15-minute wait. Okay, so go. Just go.
Good.
Okay.
Advice. Gosh, I've got a couple, but I always stick to one, I suppose.
Yeah, save the other one for next.
There's always tips.
Yeah, always.
For sure.
I guess to encourage the goodwill feeling of Disneyland and the happiness that Disneyland brings people, when you're on the Disneyland Railroad or the Mark Twain and you see other guests out there, wave to them. Or if you're in line somewhere and you see the train pass by, or the monorail, or Mark Twain or Sailing Ship Columbia, and people are waving to you, just wave back. It's that connection that makes Disneyland special. It's something that you don't see anywhere else, really. And we're all here for the same for the same general purpose, having a good time, and people are generally happy to get a wave back. It's very simple to do that. It takes not more than 4 or 5 seconds of your time just to do it, and I always do it. And it's just one of those things that wave and wave back. That's just my tip. I think it'll go a long way for you.
Yeah, I like that.
That's really good, Mark.
Oh, well,
actually,
thank you.
And you took something that I was gonna say
Oh,
because, yeah, like going what we talked about at the beginning of like the slower pace and just taking it all in. This trip, we really took time to like talk to people around us.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it was just something simple, or something short. We didn't chat their ear off, but like taking the time, the situation I was thinking of initially with the question when you asked it is like, we got there for rope drop. We're waiting. And there's a family next to us with 2 little kids that are a bit younger than ours. But we took time to talk with them, like, how old are your kids? Like, that's great you're here. They were like, man, you're going to be us next year, because our kids were like that age difference ahead of them. And there's just something that felt like, I don't know, like I felt like I see good in the world.
Yep.
And so I do think that that's so important. Take time, tell somebody thank you, wave when somebody waves. Like, don't feel silly to do it.
Absolutely correct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good. Yeah. So Becky basically is saying have conversations with people in line, or just whether you're eating something, just be kind. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Or like there was another lady actually in line for Rise. We were all looking at our Apple Watches at the same time, like, oh, how many steps are we at? Because it was the end of the day. And she's like, yeah, my Apple Watch like is sending alerts thinking like somebody's trying to kidnap me or something, because it's never seen me move so much. And, just like taking that time, like, oh man, yep.
Yeah.
Relate,
Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, that is our little tips for episode 216. There you go. So use them or not, and whatever. No, they actually do use them. Okay. Okay. So Becky, you just came back from the parks. Why don't you give us a quick?
Yes. So it was an amazing trip. It was for my mom's 60th birthday.
Okay.
And all the time that we were there, it actually was my brother's birthday, my mom's birthday, and then the day we left, my nephews, it was their birthday. They all have a birthday right next to each other.
Okay.
And, so first of all, it just felt so great to be there with my siblings. We had not all been there since 2019 for Halloween. And like so much in our life has changed. In that time, it's like my brother-in-law wasn't even in the picture. Now he's here. We didn't have our girls. My brother only had 2 kids, now has 3. So like overall, I just felt so grateful that we could be there together and, and all be able to experience it. So I feel a little bit like cheesy, but that I just felt so thankful and grateful about that.
Oh, no, that's awesome.
Yeah. So to start off with, we stayed at Anaheim Harbor, which is an RV.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, like an RV campsite, I guess you could call it. Wonderful experience. We've stayed there before. It's 0.8 from the park.
Oh.
From gate to actually our trailer. And I highly suggest it if anybody has a travel trailer, motorhome, anything like that. They are very nice at working with you. The price is unbeatable for staying in that area. It's a very easy walk to and from the parks, and it's clean. They had security. It just overall was a really good experience there.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm. And it's so close you can see the fireworks actually from your site.
Okay,
which is cool. Yeah. So we left, and we had actually planned on going golfing on Thursday, but the weather was really bad, and so we got to Anaheim early, and we decided to do Goofy's Kitchen that evening for dinner, which was a really wonderful experience. The food was really good.
Okay.
We had, I ate a artichoke salmon. They had a really great Brussels sprout dish, like a Brussels sprout type hash that was really good. So much variety. Tim has to eat gluten-free, and the chef comes and talks to you ahead of time and walks you through and shows you everything gluten-free. And they had a cornbread it was cornbread brulee. So the top was like a creme brulee.
Ooh.
But it was a cornbread. It was so good. I really enjoyed just going to the Disneyland Hotel. I had not been there in a while.
Oh, right.
And just being there felt really like special to me. Just seeing the shops, talking to people around. There were like cast members that would walk around and kind of like, you know, say something about the kids because they were excited. And it was really nice to just be kind of in that Disney bubble. Disneyland Hotel had a lot of really cool merchandise. They had like the Loungefly backpacks for Disneyland Hotel that I actually really wanted one. They looked really cool. They had ears that were really cool. They looked just like classic Disneyland.
Yeah.
And so that was really nice. Our experience was great at Goofy's Kitchen. With food was great. We also got there, I guess this would be more of a tip too. So we did like a 4 p.m. dinner. So it was before the dinner rush. So it wasn't loud and chaotic or anything like that while we were eating. As we were leaving, it got loud and chaotic. But you take pictures ahead of time. And actually when we had gotten there, it was Pluto taking pictures. So we took pictures with him, and then they let us take pictures with Goofy at the end.
Okay.
And those are all professional pictures you can get, which, you know, as a parent, it's great to get a picture of the whole family. I love that aspect. So I really suggest it. It wouldn't be something that I would do every single time we went, but it felt like something special and enjoyable for us to get to do.
Awesome.
Yeah. So one thing that I don't even know how you guys are going to take this. So I wrote Tiana's.
Okay.
And I actually liked it.
Oh, good.
Okay, well, that's good.
Okay. So I don't like the story element of it. I think that could be better and needs some fine tuning. But there were elements of it I really liked. Like going through the queue was really good. And really like started that story. I enjoyed that. I also thought the colors throughout it are really like vibrant and catching, and the music throughout it is good. My only issue is the story, and then at the end, I think it should be a different song that is like a little bit more, I don't know, that something that would be classic.
Yes.
You know, like an infamous type song,
Right.
I think they need. And the story, like Tim was like, why are they asking us about a band when we're literally like in a garden with carrots? And I totally agree. Like it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my complaint too. I don't know what's going on. There was no peril. There was no. And there's no. You know, we need to be like reassured of anything. It was just like we're part of this trying to find a band thing, and I mean, it could be because some of the things weren't even working when I went on it. Did you notice that too?
So they were all working, but some of the animatronics I felt like weren't as cool as I thought they were going to be. Like the one at the end with Tiana, her eyes were just like,
oh yeah,
you know, where that looked weird to me. And I don't know that I could say it's better than Splash Mountain, but I think there are elements that are better because it's updated.
Well, yes,
you know,
yes,
right. But I found it enjoyable at the same time.
Oh, good.
Like I didn't hate it.
Right. Did you get wet?
Actually, no.
Oh.
So I wore a poncho, but so we had left our ponchos in the stroller, which were over in front of Mansion, and I didn't have any. So my mom gave me a poncho, and all she had for Tim and I were little kid ponchos. So it literally was like a t-shirt on me.
Okay.
And before we went on, my brother was like, I'll give you $100 if you give me your poncho. I said, yeah, I'll give you my sweatshirt I'm wearing too if you'll give me $100. And then he took back his deal and didn't offer me. I was sitting in the back of the boat.
Oh,
he was sitting in the front. He got soaked.
Oh, jeez.
But I did not in the second to the last spot.
Gotcha.
I didn't even have the poncho on my head, like going through it.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So the whole time I made fun of him after, like, I bet you wish you would have given me $100 for that, right? Because like even he had to change his boxers. And
Oh, jeez.
like,
That's
it was
funny.
so bad.
You want it in the daytime or nighttime?
We did it in the daytime.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, a lot of what we did on this trip was just out of the ordinary. Like, I ate at places I don't normally eat
Good.
at. So it was cool that way. I did hit Lightning Lane for 2 of the days.
Okay.
Begrudgingly. I
Okay,
did not
but
want
how
to do
did it work? How did it work for you?
Okay. So would I suggest it?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I wouldn't. So with Lightning Lane, so I didn't want to. My family knew I didn't want to. They kind of like made fun of me about it a little bit, but jokingly. My mom didn't want to either, but she did it because everyone did. So for DCA, for one, it doesn't even have Radiator Springs in it. That's a separate, like, one line. Then ahead of purchasing it, I did think it had Radiator Springs. And so my mindset was, at least I can go on that. I never got to ride Radiator Springs this trip, but that's okay. But I didn't find it very useful. I guess the only thing I could say that we really went on that otherwise would have been a very long line that day would have been Incredicoaster. Like, I probably wouldn't have waited because, you know, the kids can't go on it and that sort of thing. But other than that, no, I felt like it was a waste of my money, to be honest. The next day at Disneyland, I would say it was useful in that, like, we got to do Indiana Jones because of it. Maybe like a couple things that way, but personally, I don't feel it's worth your investment. Now, the other thing I will say is it is not monitored at all.
No.
At all. Like, I know I messaged you guys. Well, let me go back. So there is also, with my kids' ages, one of them, the 3-year-old, she was 40 inches. So that opened up a whole new world. She could go on things.
Oh, good.
Yeah. However, like Thunder Mountain, not quite ready to go on it. And I don't want to force her on something like that. So parent swap still comes in handy. Now with parent swap, you just walk up to the end of the line or by where the Lightning Lane is. You tell them that you want to do parent swap and they give you 2 passes, Lightning Lane passes onto your phone. And so with that, so technically somebody still needs to wait in line, but they automatically give you 2 in case you have a child or someone else that wants to do it 2 times. And it starts so they kind of go with the line. I would say typically, though, everything started, you could go through the Lightning Lane 30 minutes after they scan your pass. Now, with that, we could say, oh, grandparents are here. I got 2 free scans. Let's wait and go together.
Yes.
They do not monitor that.
Wow. Oh, good. Interesting.
Yes.
To know.
And they do not monitor you walking through the Lightning Lane. So I text the guys and Jess while I was there because we were going to do parent swap for Rise of the Resistance. And it was a 75-minute wait. It was like 65 or 75 minutes. The girls had just fallen asleep, so I was walking around with them, and Tim was going through the main line, and then I was going to go through the Lightning Lane once it was my turn. He texted me after like 15 minutes that he was about through, and he had walked through the Lightning Lane, and nobody stopped him. Nobody stopped him, and we were all right there asking questions. This happened multiple times with my family, and I do not want to act like we were all just like no care for the rules. But how we realized this happened is my mom, bless her heart, did not understand scanning the light. I mean, she understood it, but she didn't actually click it through at all.
Okay.
Most times. So we'd get through, and she'd go to try to do her next Lightning Lane and realize she never scanned her pass. But yet they let us all walk through and nobody stopped us. Nobody checked the scans. My brother also has the DAS pass for one of my nephews. Nobody checks that. And like we were following rules, but this is how we're realizing like nobody checks it, because my mom's walking through them with the DAS pass as they have their whole family, not scanning her lightning lane, and nobody stops you. And so we tested it too on Indiana Jones. I only had 2 passes for Tim and I to do it, and then my brother-in-law just walked with us, and they're like, yeah, just go through, even though the lady's right there scanning our 2.
Wow.
Does not care.
Well, I will tell you that a lot of times, man, I don't know if the policy has changed, but a lot of times when we would have something similar, it would be like, oh, but they don't have the fast pass, but they're part of our group. Can they just come on? And most of the time, they'd be like, yeah, come on. So I get that, but what you're describing is a little bit more extreme than that, though, because typically it would have, whoever's posted up, as you're scanning your pass in to get in, they're looking at, boom. I mean, we've done it tons of times. We've literally said, hey, can we? They're like, yeah, come on in. So that's crazy, though, and it makes me wonder why. You know what I mean? It really makes me wonder why.
Well, what I also thought, like with my mom doing it, is like this would be your time to educate somebody on how to use it too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, oh man, your pass didn't scan, but nobody did that. And so we would try to tell my mom, like, hey, you need to scan it, and then like it'll be turn green, and then you press that you did it. But like even with that, she could have just gone on multiple times in a row. Nobody would stop you. So I found that like very interesting and easy to abuse it, because we did not do this. I paid for our passes, but very easily we could have just paid for 1 pass and both went through every time.
Wow, that's a pro tip.
Like very easily. Yeah. And like, granted, my husband is 6'5", and maybe there could be a world they are like scared to tell him no.
Oh yeah.
But,
yes.
My mom isn't, my brother-in-law's not, like, nobody said anything. So that was interesting. So I wouldn't suggest it. I don't think my mindset's changed on the lightning lane at all. I think it's like par for the course. I think we've got it for a little while, but I definitely foresee some updates with it. I don't know what they're going to be. I did also see people in line saying they had the premiere, like the $400 one. And that shocked me, because it was families with kids. And I think that it's just more of the mindset of like, oh, we're not going to get to do something, so we have to do this.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why people must be doing it. But I would say anybody listening to this, do not, under any circumstances, buy the $400 pass.
No.
Do not.
Yeah, and this is where I get frustrated with Disney, because they know when they do that kind of stuff, they're feeding on the ignorance of people who don't know. They hear what it's supposed to do. They go, oh, well, I need that. It is the ultimate in salesmanship. And I go, wait. Talk to somebody who actually is avid and knows, and they can tell you, no, you don't need that.
No.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of any military movie, any army movie where they're going to go deploy. And they're deploying, and the last one I saw was Black Hawk Down. And the reason, and you'll see where I'm going with it, they're going and they're gearing up to go out. And then the guy comes up and goes, you don't need that.
Yep.
You don't need that. You don't need that. And I feel like people like us, we're literally be like, hey, I'm going to the park and I'm going to do, and then we can literally go like, hold on, what are your plans? Okay, you don't need that. You don't need that. You don't need that. Oh, you do need that.
Yeah.
And that's why the whole tip thing that we're beginning to do, that's in part for this. Because, I think we're all now pretty much coming to the mindset like lightning lane. And we had Jake, when he went, same thing. He's like, yeah, we did. And I'm like, meh, I don't really need it. You don't really need it. So, don't do it. Like, don't do it.
Yeah, and actually, I remember Jacob saying this when he came on, of just like, okay, then you're checking it and you're going from one end to the park to the other. And so we actually had kind of a funny joke, because we did it at DCA and did back and forth. And Tim and I don't like doing that. Oh. And so the next day we're like, look, we're not going to be pinballing around the whole park. We're like going to enjoy it. And so then my family, like, that became their like joke, is we're not pinballing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. And then we ate at Hungry Bear Barbecue.
Oh.
Now, our reasoning is because actually we were right there and the kids were on the brink of a meltdown and it was just opening and they needed to eat and go to sleep. And also Tim has to eat gluten-free and they have a lot of like good gluten-free options.
Okay.
So for that purpose, actually, I thought it was good. Our food tasted good. It was fast. You know, all of that. I wouldn't say it's like the best thing we ate at the park, but it's good if you're there and need to, and especially if you need gluten-free.
Okay.
That part's good. I also ate at Red Rose Tavern,
Oh, yeah.
which I have, but it's been so long.
Right.
That actually ended up being one of like my favorite places to eat there. Like the burger was good. I loved the gray stuffed cupcake. It had been a long time since I had it. That was like my favorite dessert of the trip because they did a Valentine's one. So the shortbread cookie was like a raspberry cookie.
Oh.
And then the cupcake was raspberry, and they actually had a real raspberry in it, like when you got through the frosting.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, that was super enjoyable.
Yeah, I was telling my friend Justin the other day about the Red Rose Tavern and how Annika got that like that. It isn't a crunch wrap, but it looks like the.
Oh yeah.
And
I know what you're talking
about.
about.
Yeah, and we split that, and I was like, that thing's a game changer. That's one of the best things I've had in a long time.
Oh, I wish I would have tried it now. I just did like more of the simple cheeseburger, like a bacon cheeseburger.
Oh, okay.
But I felt like it was good and like reasonably priced.
Yeah. Yep.
For eating with the family there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so I suggested they did have a cold brew, and it was a cold brew. It was a seasonal one with like caramel and vanilla.
Ooh,
and I did want to get it, but at the time I happened to be there, I just wasn't ready for a coffee, and I said I'd go back because I split the cupcake, and I was like, oh, I'm not ready for like a double sugar rush with that too. But yeah, that was great.
Did you find that sweater, that Valentine sweater?
No, but I had on just like a Etsy one that I had gotten.
Yeah.
That just said Disneyland, you know, just a sweatshirt. And actually at Red Rose Tavern, one of the ladies working, she was like, oh, I really like your sweatshirt. And I said, I've seen so many really cute ones for Valentine's Day. Because it was Valentine's Day. And she's like, yeah, we had really great ones. And she brought up that one and said how she wanted it, but she didn't even get it. And I told her how your daughter got it.
Yeah.
And she was saying she's so lucky that she did. And I saw people with it on.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, that was a really nice looking one. I did get the zip up like Jacob had, only I got the burgundy.
Oh.
That you zip up and it has the D.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, nice.
I actually wanted black, but they didn't have my size, and I waited until I was leaving the park.
Okay.
So I couldn't go and like search around for it. But I like the burgundy's a nice color.
Yeah, I like that one too.
And then I got a side purse that has all the characters. Like it has like the classic characters like Minnie, Mickey, Goofy.
Oh, do you wear it around your waist?
No, it's like one that.
Oh, like a sling bag.
Yeah, like a sling bag.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Which in our town, people are like purse snatching. So, you know, a sling bag is necessary right now.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it was great. Now, I do have a funny story that Tim gave me permission to share ahead of time.
Okay.
I know, like, he kind of said something whenever I sent you guys a video of us walking in. So we waited in line for Casey Jr. And for those who haven't seen pictures of my husband, he is 6'5". He's a big dude. And yeah, he's like a giant. So we wait for Casey Jr.
I know where this is going.
Okay. Of course, my kids want to ride in like a cage or something.
Yes, yeah.
So I kind of was thinking, I was thinking we would get like one of the benches outside. But I also thought, you know, like maybe because he's the tallest person about to enter, that they would say like, let's let you guys get in first, or like, let's save this for you because just he is so big, you know, like he's way taller than everyone. So they're like deciding of where to sit and like walking in, and I'm just following. We end up being the very last people to sit down.
Oh.
And there's a cage. that already has 3 people in it, like a husband, wife, and their like 9-year-old daughter. We go to get in, and like Tim has to crunch in to get in. And I just look at this lady's face as he's like hunched over getting in. She is this close
my gosh.
to his butt crack out in the open. Just like his pants were falling down as he's entering. And that is all I see. And I feel horrified.
Oh my
like,
gosh.
Just horrified for this lady. And she just stares. But she doesn't say anything. She was polite. And I wasn't going to say anything because I felt like I didn't want to embarrass Tim or anything. But then we're going through, and you know, you see all of like people on Storybook waving at you and everything.
Yeah.
And Tim just whispers to me, like, my whole crack is out. And because it's so tall, he can't even lift up to like pull up his pants.
That's all.
And I laughed the whole time and just tried to look at people's expressions.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I can't even imagine you're writing Storybook and you just see the train going by and like some man's crack out. And you're just, oh my God. It was like so funny.
I feel embarrassed for him. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
I know. And he took it like a champ. He said I could share it because we were just like laughing so hard.
Did you hear anyone making comments about it?
I didn't, but whenever it was time to get out, I was like, let's let them go before us because I didn't want this poor lady to like have to stare at it again.
That's awesome.
Oh,
holy
it was
cow.
so funny. Yeah.
Oh man.
I know. Like, I feel like that's going to be a story we remember forever.
I'm sure it will be.
Just because it was like, it was so funny. And, you know, of course, my girls are so excited to like get to be in the cage and go along.
Yes.
Uh-huh. But, yeah, that was good. I felt like DCA, I felt like I could have really spent 2 days there.
Oh, okay.
Which is interesting, and I feel like so different from how I felt before. And no, maybe part of it might have been because we have kids, so it's slower pace, and we were pinballing, you know, with the family. But I felt like there was a lot of little things, like to stop and smell the roses, so to speak, there, that like sometimes I miss out on. Even with the kids, I would have liked to do the Disney Junior area, and we didn't get a chance to get there, and we didn't get a chance to get into what's his name, the Turtle Talk with Crush.
Yep.
And I would have liked to go into that area more. We just didn't get the time to do so.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like, yeah, there was just, I really enjoyed the vibes there. More so than I have before. We ate at the Lucky Fortune Cookie, which was also somewhere I like don't normally pick, but it was a chicken bowl.
Okay.
And it was great. And then we also got it was for the Chinese New Year. It was the the almond. Jay talked about it.
The cookie, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
The pudding.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that what it's called? Yeah, like the almond pudding.
But it has but it has a cookie on it.
Yeah, it has the cookie and
yes.
the cake.
Yes.
Excellent.
Oh.
I would say like probably one of my favorite desserts in the park that day. It was just so good. My mom got it and we actually split it. And it was cool to see stuff out for the Chinese New Year. I didn't actually try anything for the food festival, just because it's honestly hard to fit in all the food. I feel like you go there and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna eat this, and this, but then you're full and you know it's hard to do that. But the vibe was really good with that. Like it was cool to see the parade coming through, like the educational things that were out were interesting. I don't know, it just was a really happy vibe there that day.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, like more so than I've even like experienced at DCA before. I enjoyed my time. And then on our last day, it was also really cool. Like my sister's pregnant, so she can't go on everything. And she really wanted to do Fantasmic. And so I had said I would book a dining package with her like at the end, but they were all sold out. And as we left Galaxy's Edge at the end, the second showing of Fantasmic was starting. So we actually, there was spots and we were able to get in and do standing, her and my brother-in-law and I. And that was really I don't know. It felt like such a good way to end the park. Like, for one, my sister and I love Fantasmic.
Oh, yeah.
But it just was like, oh man, like it feels so good. You know, so happy there. I loved that.
Awesome.
And then the other thing we did with the kids is before we had gone, we got little jean jackets at Costco that were like $14, and they had Minnie Mouse all over them. And then we brought fabric markers and just had all the characters sign the back of it.
Oh, cool.
And and
That's
the
awesome.
girls really loved that. And then they love wearing it, you know, and like, oh, is this Minnie Mouse? And pointing it out now after wearing it. And so that was super fun too.
That's a great idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I was talking with the cast member, they also mentioned a Stanley. Like bringing a Stanley and signing it. And I actually kind of want to do that for myself. Just because I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, if you got a red Stanley and then did a bunch of signatures, it'd be like, I don't know, like a cool Disney memento that you'd use a lot.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So I thought that was a good one.
That's a good idea, for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and especially, like, of course, me alone, I'm not going to stand in and get, like, character autographs all the time. Like, of course, it's something with the kids. But to me, it was better than buying an autograph book that they're going to get and just throw in a drawer. You know what I mean? Like, they could actually wear the jackets and, like, show their friends or, you know, like, remember the trip.
Yes.
And so I liked that. So, yeah, it was good. They loved the character interactions. We also did breakfast at the plaza for my mom's birthday.
Oh, of course.
And, yeah, that was a wonderful experience. I feel like they're always great at the plaza. I did do dinner at the plaza.
Yeah?
One night. It wasn't my fave.
Oh.
To be honest. So I don't think I'm a fried chicken person, though. So I don't think I can actually appreciate it. Like, I knew when I was standing in line I should get the pot roast.
Yeah,
but
that's really good.
That's what I know. I knew I should have, but I was like, no, like, I need to try the fried chicken.
Okay.
And it was like too much fried food.
Oh, geez.
For my taste.
Yeah.
And so I know I would go again, but I would do the pot roast, and I think I'd be happier.
I think you would be too. Yeah, that's a solid choice, and they have really good salads there too. They can make you a chicken salad as well.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the salads, but yeah, that would be probably more what I'm into. Another thing I noticed is there were a lot of plaids doing tours.
Okay.
And I found that interesting. I Googled it on the way home because I was like, honestly, if we could pay and they could watch the kids while we go
Becky,
on
that's a very slippery financial slope you're going down.
I know, but they don't watch your kids.
Oh,
while
yeah.
you're on it. So you can't just leave your kids with them. But I didn't. Well, I mean, I guess the people could have been famous who were doing it. I didn't see them, but my brother-in-law and Tim saw a basketball player that's like well known walking with a plaid, and Tim was taller than him, just FYI.
Oh geez.
So if anybody wants to thinking about the butt crack story, Tim was taller than this pro NBA player, but like they looked like normal, like nobody that I recognized as somebody famous, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I thought that was interesting. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like before, whenever I would see plaids going by on tours, it was always somebody famous.
Yep.
Not.
Yeah.
And I guess they very well could have been. I didn't recognize them, but.
Oh yeah, that could very well be. Yeah.
Yeah. Even though I'm 25 and kind of with it of knowing who people are.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe I didn't, but I thought that aspect was interesting to me too. Like, just seeing the plaids go by and like waiting for people with a coffee as they're coming off a ride. Like, it's interesting to just like people watch that. Awesome.
It sounds you got like a really good time, and now you want to go back.
I do.
Yep.
I definitely want to go back. I had a great time. It just felt super special. It felt like something we needed for sure.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that, Becky. That's now I want to go even though it's raining. Actually, would I go today? Maybe I would. I don't know.
I would.
In the rain? Yeah.
You know what? I think I would. We had to prepare for it because we thought one of the days was going to rain, and we just brought ponchos with us, but it ended up being great weather.
Oh, well, excellent. Yeah. Did you guys get like a locker at all?
You know what? We didn't, but our stroller holds a lot.
Oh, that's right.
You know, so we don't need to.
True.
But we actually talked about it. Like once we're out of the stage where the kids need a stroller, or we could do a smaller one, for sure we would get a locker.
Yeah.
Because like even with the kids, we bring like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And things like that for them to snack on.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And we do pack a lot of our own snacks just out of convenience. You know, like, I don't know. You need to grab something with high protein, easy to grab, like a beef stick. That sort of thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for the review of the park in February. That's awesome. That, I guess, is going to wrap up episode number 216. Oh, actually, Jess has a quick pro tip that she wants to say.
Hit it and quit it.
Jess, that is not a pro tip.
I know, right?
Why would you say something like that? This is like a family show.
I know.
Jess, come on. Listeners, don't listen to Jess when she says stuff like that. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, my.
Anyways, thank you so much for listening to our show today. It means a lot. Do send us an email if you want at info@leavingtodaypodcast.com. Connect with us at Instagram, Leaving Today Podcast. And if you want to support the show, we make it super simple that way through our website at support with Patreon. Sorry. And also on Instagram, yeah. Also, we do have some shirts on tpublic.com. I will actually promote those more. I'm pretty lazy about doing that, but I'll promote that more on Instagram. So we do have those out there. Becky, where can people find more information about you?
You can find me on Instagram at Becky_Weimer, BECKY_WEIMER.
Excellent. Udi, where can people find out more information about you?
You can find me on my other podcast, The Mando Show. We are currently gearing up for Andor Season 2, which is going to be coming out. I'm kind of excited about it. April 25th, I believe, is the premiere date. But between here and then, we are going to be talking about Rogue One, which is where we got introduced to the character of Cassian Andor. We're going to be doing that, I think, next week. We're going to actually record that. But anyway, but you can find me there. You can also find me on my socials, which are both on X or Twixer, and Instagram, which are both the same handle, HaxGoalie, HaxGoalie. If you want to ask me anything about anything, DM me there.
Awesome.
Also, sorry, I just want to say one more thing. I did see Mando walking around with the little, baby Yoda or whatever. With Grogu.
Cool.
And it was so cute.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Cutest thing, yeah.
Well, good. Look at that little Mando reference there. Okay, well, thank you for the contact information from both of you. Thanks again for listening. And also tune in to us on every other Thursday night on LTP Lounge. Yeah. All right. We love you. Adventures out there, and we'll see you in the parks.
Bye.
See ya.
Sure, it can't be any worse than your whiskey and Coke from yesterday morning. Think of a banana.
Does it help? Okay.
Always does. Every time. Don't ask me why. But you make me hot. It's so close, I can feel it.
Are we live?
We are live.
Snack break. I feel like Udi's gonna lose it with the news.
Remain seated, please. Permanense estados, por favor.
My popcorn is popped, and I'm ready to listen.
Bite his box.
Snack break.
I've got tacos waiting for me.
Oh man, where's my invite?
Kitty.
It's like a breath of fresh air.
Boy, was my face red. Oh my goodness.